New York, AP, a former New York City Police Union president who's clashed with city officials over his bombastic tweets and hardline tactics is expected to surrender Wednesday to face criminal charges connected to a raid last year on his home and union office, two law enforcement officials said. Ed Mullins resigned in October as head of the Sergeants Benevolent Association after the FBI searched the union's Manhattan office and his Long Island home. He retired from the NYPD in November. Information on charges against Mullins was not immediately available. He is expected to be in federal court later on Wednesday. The officials confirming his arrest were not authorized to speak publicly about an investigation and did so on condition of anonymity. Messages seeking comment were left with the NYPD, the union and lawyers who's represented Mullins in the past. The FBI declined comment. The Sergeants Benevolent Association represents about 13,000 active and retired NYPD sergeants and controls a $264 million retirement fund. Mullins, a police sergeant detached to full-time union work, was subject to department disciplinary proceedings last year for tweeting NYPD paperwork in 2020 regarding the arrest of Mayor Bill de Blasio's daughter during protests over the Minneapolis police killing of George Floyd. Mullins, a police officer since 1982, rose to sergeant, a rank above detective but below captain and lieutenant, in 1993 and was elected president of the Sergeants Union in 2002. Under Mullins' leadership, the union has fought for better pay, with contracts resulting in pay increases of 40%, and staked a prominent position in the anti-reform movement. Though he was a full-time union chief, city law allowed Mullins to retain his sergeant's position and collect salaries from both the union and the police department. In 2020, Mullins made more than $220,000 between the two, according to public records, $88,757 from the union and $133,195 from the NYPD. Along with Mullins' periodic appearances on cable networks like Fox News and Newsmax, including one in which he was pictured in front of a QAnon mug, perhaps the union's most powerful megaphone is its 45,000-follower Twitter account, which Mullins runs himself, often to fiery effect. In 2018, amid a rash of incidents in which police officers were doused with water, Mullins suggested it was time for then-Commissioner James O'Neill and Chief of Department Terrence Monahan to consider another profession and tweeted that O'Neill must go. O'Neill retorted that Mullins was a bit of a keyboard gangster who seldom showed up to department functions. Last year, Mullins came under fire for tweets calling the city's former health commissioner, Dr. Osiris Barbet, a B, and U.S. Representative Richie Torres a first-class whore. Mullins was upset over reports Barbet refused to give face masks to police in the early days of the pandemic and angry with Torres' calls for an investigation into a potential police work slowdown in September 2020. Torres, who is gay, denounced Mullins' tweet as homophobic.